Good morning, I'm Kayla Ayers. It is Saturday, January 3rd. We begin with breaking news out of Northeast Albuquerque. That's where a veteran DWI police officer was shot early this morning, and police are still searching for the suspect. Police say the officer was making a routine traffic stop on a vehicle at San Mateo and San Mateo Lane when a man jumped out of the car and started shooting. Albuquerque police say the officer was hit twice. He's been taken to the hospital, and police say he is expected to survive. The officer was able to shoot back, but police are not sure if the suspect was hit. Right now, they are still looking for that suspect. We'll have more on this coming up in our next half hour. Turning to weather, a second round of snow for southern New Mexico caused slick conditions on the interstate, even with the state DOT crews working around the clock, plowing and dumping salt and cinder on roads to keep drivers safe. Now, some of that snow tried to make its way into Albuquerque. This is what it looked like in the metro for a short time on Friday night, with some people still venturing out and braving the cold. Well, snow and freezing temperatures have had a grip on the state for the past few days. Let's go to Chris with what we can expect today.
Yeah, we're still seeing that snow falling in parts of eastern New Mexico. This is a look at Vaughn during the overnight hours, and you can still see the fresh snow on the ground from Friday afternoon, but traffic moving along just fine. Still kind of snow-packed and icy, so give yourself some extra time there along US 54 and then I-40 in Tucumcari. That's where most of the snow has been falling during the overnight hours as the last band of snow begins to push into Texas. You can see kind of a foggy looking picture here because of the snow that continues to fall along Interstate 40 with those snow-packed and icy roads there. So it's going to be a slow go around Santa Rosa over to Tucumcari as we continue with that snow. Some spotty snow still falling around Roswell right now, and then that snow stretches up into Tucumcari and around Clovis. Now another cold front's going to move in tonight. That could trigger some more snow, and then we warm things up. We'll talk about it all coming up in your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Well, this storm has made for some dangerous driving conditions across the state. This is a look right now on nmroads.com. Officials are warning about delays, and you can see to the southwest, state police have closed down parts of US 285 and US 62, citing impassable roads. If you're heading out on the roads this morning, you can check the latest statewide conditions hotline at 511. Well, this latest winter storm has left its mark on much of the state for the first week of the new year. And as Aaron Drawhorn shows us, we're seeing what's happening in just about every corner of New Mexico, thanks to all of you.
At sunrise, it was a snowy scene in Portales. Tom Maxfield got his New Mexico welcome in the Arenas Valley with this wintry white. Quite a change from where he called home just a few months ago, San Diego. By afternoon, Silver City was covered in bright white all over the ground. No polar bear plunge in Roswell because this swimming pool froze. Look at the snow on the slide too. Snow also hit Sierra County. This is a scene in Truth or Consequences. Kids like Eileen and Natalia had fun in the flakes in Hagerman. Our four-legged friends dug their paws into the winter treat. This is Belle enjoying the dusting in Dexter. And as the second day of 2015 wrapped up down south in Carlsbad, the big chill coated the Castillo's yard with pretty powder. Aaron Drawhorn, KRQE, News 13.
We want to see your photos and video of the snow. You can email them to reportit@krqe.com or submit them on our website. A man accused of killing a 16-year-old Hobbs boy caught in the middle of an argument is now in custody. 19-year-old Mario Ortega is charged with an open count of murder. He's accused of shooting Jose Salcido at a party on Sanger Street back in November. Police say it appears Salcido was in the wrong place at the wrong time. We're told Ortega was arguing with another man when he pulled a gun and started shooting. Salcido was hit multiple times. He died at the hospital. Salcido worked at Buffalo Wild Wings to help his single mom and his siblings. Co-workers and his boss called him one of the nicest people they knew. About to be booked for stealing credit cards, an Albuquerque woman is now going to spend even more time behind bars for dumping a gun into the trash at the jail. 34-year-old Josephine McAllister apparently had a gun in her underwear when she was arrested last month. She'd been caught with stolen credit cards and was taken to the Metro Detention Center. Another inmate found a handgun in a garbage can and turned it over to jail officials, who say McAllister admitted it was hers. She was then booked on additional charges. Santa Fe police say staffing changes have led to lower property crime numbers. During the first 11 months of 2014, Santa Fe police have covered about 1,100 property crimes like house and car break-ins. Data isn't yet available for December, but this year's number is down 26% from the same period last year. The police chief attributes the drop to a department shift they made earlier this year. They went back to a 4-day, 10-hour-per-day work schedule, which allows officers more time to tackle property crime cases. A lot of people are leaving New Mexico. A new study ranks the state 8th in the nation for the most people moving out of state. The study by one of the nation's largest movers says more people were moving out of New Mexico than into the state, with a little more than half of the moves being outbound. About a third of people leaving did so because of a company transfer, and another third for a new job. Number 1 on that list is New Jersey. So where are people flocking to? Most people move to Oregon. The Mid-Region Council of Governments is showing us their 20-year plan for the city's metro area, primarily improvements imagined for the transportation system. They want your feedback, and you can give it to them at 3 public meetings being held throughout Albuquerque. The first meeting will happen January 8th at the Loma Colorado Library in Rio Rancho. We've put a link to the long-range plan on KRQE.com. Investigators say a 7-year-old girl is the only survivor of a plane crash that happened in western Kentucky overnight. 4 others were killed. A man who lives in the area says the girl walked to his house asking for help after the crash. Police say the girl has non-life-threatening injuries. She was taken to a hospital for observation. Authorities say the plane was en route to Illinois from Key West, Florida. The USS Worth has been deployed by the U.S. Navy to help in the recovery effort for AirAsia Flight 8501. The ship's commander said the ship is ready to help the Indonesian government in any way in the recovery efforts. Another U.S. ship, the USS Sampson, has also been deployed to help find victims. About 30 bodies have been recovered so far. An Indonesian official said a limited number of the victims will be autopsied to determine the cause of death to aid in the investigation. The flight bound for Singapore went down in the Java Sea on Sunday. Jury selection will begin Monday for the Boston Marathon bombing suspect. A federal judge made that decision yesterday after Dzhokhar Tsarnaev's lawyers asked for a delay. They wanted to wait for a federal appeals court to decide whether to move the trial out of Massachusetts. The judge said no because it would be too inconvenient for the more than 1,200 people called for jury duty. Tsarnaev has pleaded not guilty to the 2013 bombing. 3 people were killed, 260 were hurt in that bombing.